Well, we have to scale up and we have to scale out. So we have to reach broader numbers of people and get them active. The amazing thing to me is that people are on our side. You see that in all the polls that are taken. Do people want the environment to be ruined? No. Do they want health care for everyone? Yes. Do they think the war in Iraq is a good thing? No. I mean, the people are basically on our side, but they're passive about it. So we've got to get them more active. I think in light of these recent immigrant rights demonstrations, when people got out on the streets, over 1 million, it was a good example of how getting out on the streets is not passé. It's not, oh, so last century. It's like cool now, and it really can change history. So let's not forget that kind of tactic. But I think we have to use all kinds of tactics. We've been using new ones, and I think some of them are too passive, like the e-activism, where you click a little button and you say, yes, I've done my job for humanity. You know, that's good, and that gives us an incredible network when we build up our email lists, hundreds of thousands or millions. But you got to get people doing more. You got to get them in the streets. You got to get them sitting in congressional offices or in the offices of some of these corporate wrongdoers. So we've got to do both the outreach, the broad kind of outreach, and we've got to take that smaller group of people who's committed and ready to be active and give them exciting ways to be more active.
You know, I think one of the things that's strange at this time is that we have this real obsession with numbers. Counting numbers means more hits is better, you know, 1 million people on your list. I wonder what you think about that idea of scale.
Well, scale actually does make a difference. For example, if you have 3 million people on your list and you put out an email and say, help us get this ad in the Iraqi newspapers to show them that we are their friends, if you've got a couple of million, you're going to get $100,000. If you've got 50,000 on your list, you might get $5,000. So scale allows you to do more things. If you put out something to 3 million people and say, let's do visuals around the country, you're going to get 2,000 vigils around the country. If you get 50,000 people on your list, you might get 20 vigils around the country. So scale matters, but big is not everything.
And one last question, and this is sort of, you know, one of the features of scale that I think about is about celebrity and name recognition. And I know that Code Pink works with celebrities, and I wonder what you think about, for instance, the event coming up. Susan Sarandon, Cindy Sheehan's name have been widely connected to the vigil. What is the function of celebrity in contemporary activism?
Well, unfortunately, this is such a celebrity-driven society that people see somebody whose name they've heard of and they pay attention. If they see, oh, there's a Hollywood star coming or a great singer that they love, you know, then they'll not only read what you're sending them, they'll really consider coming because they want to hang out with those people. So, you know, we have to use where our society is now. I don't particularly like it. I feel like, you know, sometimes the kind of celebrity-driven events don't really show how ordinary people are extraordinary in their own way, and now people who are out in conservative areas of the country doing this kind of work, I mean, they're the real heroes. But you know, we are where we are. We're trying to get people involved, and so we look for things like celebrities, like creativity, like fun kinds of things, like music, to bring people in. And I just want to say something about scale, because while I said that big is important in some ways, you can do things with a small number of people. And one of my most impressive actions I did with one other person was when we first interrupted Donald Rumsfeld when the war was starting and we got into the Armed Services Committee. And there were 2 of us. We stood up before a line of generals and started asking him questions. And it was not only on the front page of the New York Times, the Washington Post, it was live on CNN and C-SPAN and all these things, but it also really sparked people around the country to say, wow, 2 people can do that? I can do that. So yes, having lots of people is important, but having a couple of people willing to do some creative things is really important too.
Thanks so much.